All right, good morning. Welcome. You might be in the afternoon when you do this practice. I'm glad you're here. I wanted this practice to be about staying curious to your next self. It does line up with the astrology. We're moving into a beautiful phase where the dreamer in you gets to really open up and unfold. And hopefully you're aware of some of the dreams you've been having. I had a pretty magical dream 2 nights ago. It was very inspiring to me. And it started off by teaching a yoga class somewhere in the world, outdoors with this beautiful, very kaleidoscopic rainbow and sky. And my main message was, what do you hold sacred? Like, really, what is sacred to you, and how do you line yourself up with that? Because if we can do that more and more and more, then the evolution of our next self is going to unfold in that more heightened state. And the evolution of you is inevitable. So may we take a little bit more of the reins in that and really line ourselves up with that which we hold just so sacred, and let that be a guiding light for us. And the next part of my dream, I went down to get my powder skis and somebody had taken the bindings off. And I was just shocked, like, oh my God, I literally woke up in a panic. And I realized that, as you know, skiing is one of the things I hold most sacred. It's the place where, since I was 2 years old, I've been able to connect to the God of all things, the God in nature, the God in myself. And if we can align with that part of ourselves and really bind ourselves to it, that was the message I got. Like, what we choose to bind ourselves to is a very tantric topic, because we can't completely liberate ourselves in this here and now, in this embodied form. We are bound to the beauty or the yuck of our life. And may we bind ourselves skillfully. May we stay curious to that which we're becoming and really align and open to that. So we're going to do just a simple, I call it a potpourri practice today. Really no apex pose, but one that's lined up with just being able to stay curious to the unfolding of yourself and to really bind yourself to the moment. So I'm going to invite you to draw your hands to your heart. Drop into the sacred flow of breath. Start to smooth out your breath and really honor that each and every breath is a way to embrace the curiosity of the moment. The mind's going to wander. It's going to pull you out into past or future. And can you stay right here, right now, while also aligning with the vision of your next self? Can you let the unfolding of all that you're becoming be generated by an attunement to how you're approaching this very, very moment? And just like in any asana practice, we know there's a sequence, there's another pose coming up, and we don't always know, especially if you haven't crafted the sequence, what's coming. So can we see ourselves in our post-shavasana state, that more ananda place, the bliss being, and know that that's truly what you're lining up with right now. And we open to the unknown and also guide ourselves by setting an intention. May the truest and most joyful aspect of me be allowed to be felt, seen, heard. May the vision of that bliss-filled being, it doesn't mean you have to be ecstatically happy to be blissful, but to be in the sacred presence of how you do what you do. And so we'll open with 3 ohms, and we'll take the Anusara opening invocation. Deep breath in. Enjoy the breath out. Curious breath in. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Nilalambaya Tejase Om. Please release your hands, open your eyes. We'll start in Tadasana as you're ready. You're going to use blocks today, then just have them handy for yourself. And as you take a stand for who you are right now, find the actions of your feet strong and steady, active feet, shins in, eyes back, root the tailbone, and then we'll wrap ourselves behind ourselves and open up the heart. Keeping your elbows bent. This is too much for your shoulders. You'll find a strap and give yourself permission to unfold with a little help. Now I want to start to inhale and extend, and exhale and bend your arms. On the extension, you'll find triceps, and on the flexion, you'll find biceps. Two sides of the same arm, both having a very specific function in your being. And committed to the presence of who you are in your back body, that universal aspect of self. Release your hands from shoulder blades, stretch the arms up to the sky, and exhale, fold forward. Linger in your forward fold just long enough to feel the goodness of it, but not to judge it. Tight hamstrings are a part of the human experience. As you're ready, right foot steps back, lunge. Draw the front leg towards straight and the back leg to bend. And then as you press down through both feet, pull the heart forward, rebending the front knee, and step forward. Inhale, lengthen. As you bow in, step the left foot back, line up your arms underneath your shoulders. Pause for a moment and be in the moment. And then start to push through and find a different self, opening the front hamstring as you bend the back knee. And then we'll step forward again. Uttanasana, forward fold. And then we rise up with curiosity, lift up, touch the sky. And hands to heart. Inhale, reach up, deep breath. Folding in half, forward fold. Inner body bright, lengthen up halfway. This time we'll step left foot back first. Straighten the front leg. Bend the front leg. And with presence, we open up and twist towards the front leg side. And then with curiosity, we ground ourselves into plank. Bend your knees, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Binding yourself to the breath and to what's unfolding from here. We open to plank and lower down to the belly. You can go through chaturanga, or if you want your knees, you can do that. Take your time, cobra. And drop into the fullness of your heart. And then opening to the breath again, downward dog. This time we'll inhale, left leg up and back. Step it forward. Take that little, I forget what I call it. I don't know. The bicycle lunge. And then straight, bending the front leg, open up, twisting towards the front leg. Deep, full breath. And enjoy the moment where you unwind and step forward, forward fold. Lifting up, touch the sky. And hands to heart. Open again. We just keep unfolding through the practice. Forward fold, halfway up. This time, right foot steps back. Take that little bicycle lunge. Then bend the front knee. And we'll open again to the front leg, twist. And with presence, plank pose. Create downward facing dog and enjoy it. Aligning with the practice that binds you to the deeper sense of knowing yourself more fully. Inhale to plank and all the way down. Fluid breath to cobra. Up and back, downward dog. Inhaling right leg high. Step forward. Pause, locate the breath, and then bicycle lunge. When you're ready, open in the twist to the front leg. Inhaling to unwind, exhale to step forward. And all the way up to Tadasana, Urdhva Hastasana, hands to heart. I'll just do a simple sun salute. A, reach up, bow forward, open, Surya Namaskara. So we open to the light that leads the path. Plank, setting the foundation, deepen your breath, and then create dog. Curious heart, deep bow in. Connected to breath, pull to plank. Committed to the presence of right here. Push down through index fingers, even as you lift the upper arm bones and create cobra. Nice. And flow with the breath up and back to dog. And we'll stay in the curious flow of 5 good breaths in dog pose. And you can hop or walk, standing forward fold. Reach up, touch the sky. And hands to heart. Full breath in, open up. And Uttanasana one more time. Inhale, side body's long. This time we'll step the right foot back and set the heel, left forearm to thigh, opening up Parsva Konasana. As you pull in, deep breath. And we reach for our dreams, extending right arm along the ear. Knees reach, right arm to the sky. Pull the feet towards the midline as you straighten your left leg. You can reach the left hand down on the floor or your ankle or a block triangle pose. Pressing through the back leg, discover the breath yet again as you come to warrior two. Big inhale, up and over, downward dog with exhale. Good breaths. It's not a static hold, it's a curious investigation of who you are today. And then an inquiry about where do you want to be, even just at the end of this practice, what do you want to feel? And you can tiptoe or hop, forward fold. Illuminate with the breath and rise up with it. Hands to heart, drop in. And one more time, we reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Inner body bright, side body's long. Please step left foot, turn the heel, right forearm to thigh. And as you keep the thighs back, pull the front buttocks down and under Parsva Konasana. And when you're ready, when the time is right, reach full expansion and just let that sensation of all that's going on bring you into the gift of being in your body. As you extend left arm to the sky, magnetize the feet, stretching the front leg to straight, triangle pose. And reach through back leg, and we open to the presence of warrior two. Deep exhale. And curious to what lies ahead, we turn in and step back, downward dog. Five good breaths. Make your way, standing forward fold. Now let your mind's eye wander a little bit. Let it go into a little bit of dream state. If you could be a tree, what tree would you be? See that in your mind, envision it, discover what that message might be for you, why that tree, what it means, how it teaches you what you need to know right here and now. And then we curiously open to that and we get to create Vrikshasana. So we'll anchor down through right leg, your variation of tree. Hear the Ujjayi breath that holds you in the curious nature of the balance. And drop that back into the heart, hands to prayer. Draw the lifted leg to midline, set it down, chair pose. And just find who you are right here, bouncing, dropping in. You get to create side 2 Vrikshasana. So drop yourself into the heart, root down, rise up, and let the breath stay ever known, always present, especially in the balance. Hear it. Let that help you unfold from the inside to the outside. Mm-hmm. And right back in. Draw to midline, set that down, chair pose. And forward fold. If you need a block for half moon, make sure it's handy under or close to your left hand. Inhale halfway up. Step it back, downward dog. Sometimes life gives us little clues, right? No, this is what lies ahead, or this is what I'd like to create. So think of your half moon here. See it in your mind's eye. The one that you want to create, the most beautiful variation of Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon. Inhale, left leg up. Step it forward. Turn the back heel and pause, and then take your time. Coming up to your half moon, you, your breath, and the vision that you're unfolding. Another balance pose. So stick with the breath, keep the gaze steady, and shine your light all the way from fingertips to toe tips. Beautiful. So I'll square it up, inhale, unwind, and drop back into a lunge. Deep breath in, long breath out. Turn that back heel, and we'll take airplane arms, and then lift up warrior one. And bowing forward, deepen the breath. And plank, downward dog. Tiptoe or hop, standing forward fold. And if you're using a block for Ardha Chandrasana, you'll switch it to left side or right side, other side. Enjoy forward fold. Let this be a moment of repose, a moment of recalibration, recognition. And then we open to the next flow of life. Open up, half lifting. Please step left foot back and start to see your half moon creating right before your eyes and through your body. And so take your time. Breath by breath, step by step, illuminating the light. Find sacred even the little bobbles and the wobbles of the pose, that part of you that shows up no matter what. Inhale to unwind, squaring your hips, step it to lunge. Take a breath. Plant the back foot for warrior one footprint. Reach down, airplane arms. Anchoring down through the hips, lift up into the breath. You got it. And bright and full. Arms out, heart open. And plank. Downward dog. Step it forward, Uttanasana. Our next couple poses are pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana to Parvrita Trikonasana, revolve triangle. I do like a block for revolve triangle, so I'm going to make one handy. Inhale, reach up, touch the sky. Interlace your hands behind you and open up. Deep breath in. Bending the knees, release your arms, chair pose. And then a big step with that right foot. Parsvottanasana. Square the hips, deepen your breath. You got it. Block under right hand if you're using a block, left hand to your hip. We're going to pause and really, what do we bind ourselves to? So I bind myself to good alignment and to deep breath and to the committed unfolding of my higher self. So draw all that into presence and then turn your heart to its highest good. As you stretch up, reach down through the legs. Inhale, unwind, lunge, downward dog. Deep breath. Standing forward fold. Lifting up, arms overhead. The name of the pose when arms are overhead is Urdhva Hastasana. Hands are hastas. Urdhva, the upward facing. Now clasp the hands behind you, Parvatasana. Deep breath. Beautiful. And we'll release to chair. Good. Step left foot back, bow forward. Parsvottanasana, the pyramid pose. And if you're binding yourself to good alignment and your lower back feels strained, you need blocks. You've got to find curve in the lumbar spine, even while you hold strength in the core. Taking a block under your left hand if you're choosing so. Place the right hand to your sacrum and find level. Drawing the right hip back as you press the left hip forward, lengthen your spine, open to your breath, and then turning. Turn, turn, turn. And to reach for the dreams of being your highest, most life-affirming self. Take a deep breath as right arm lifts. Beautiful. Inhale, unwind it. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Lower down to the belly. Come up to Sphinx pose, please. Bowing in, deepen the breath. Spider arms. Lengthen and lift one leg at a time. Try to lift the inner thigh as much as the outer hip. Good. Lengthen, lift, bend right leg. Reach back and find your foot for Ardha Bakasana. And then you can retake the Sphinx pose variation if that feels good to you. Left arm forward. And some of you might enjoy a more curious variation where you press down through left arm and curl up a little more fully. Deep breath. If that hurts your lower back, don't go there. And release. Spider arms, cobra. And exhale your way down. Maintaining deep connection to the back of the heart. Lengthen and lift left leg as you bend the knee. Left hand, left foot. Pressing foot to hand, bend your elbow a little bit, and maybe you come to Sphinx. Committed to the breath. Perhaps there's so much organic energy pressing through the legs that you can reach down through right palm and lift up. That feels good. And lower down. Sphinx, both arms, bow into the heart. And just find the flow of breath. Just drop in, recommit to the breath. And then place the hands where you do for chaturanga. Tuck your toes. Deepen the breath here. Anchor through index fingers and thumb. And with energy for life, we lift up to all fours or chaturanga. Good job. And downward dog. Move around in your dog. Create space for you. It's a curious inquiry. Inhale, left leg up and back. And notice what happens when you hear the phrase or invitation, pigeon pose. Do you get excited? Yeah. Create your pigeon, and one way to lessen it, we're not going all the way down, but you could take the left arm more forward and bend the knee without holding your foot. If you'd like to come up a little more deeply, you'll walk your hands closer to your front shin and find a deeper quad stretch, open heart. So lots of invitations. Whatever pose you did find, unwind through the breath. Drop into the evolution of the pose itself. Belly button back, Allie, tailbone down. There you go, sweetie. Protecting lower back. And release. Set your hands, tuck your back toes, deepen the breath. Plank pose. Pedal out plank. And then bow into the heart, downward dog. And try to find stillness in downward dog, even though there's spanda. There's a pulsation of energy drawing in and shining out. Let go of the fidget and enjoy more of the bliss of being in the pose. And then with breath and awareness, lifting right leg. Step it through to pigeon. You choose. You're going to stay more in a bow. And you can go for a quad stretch with no handhold. If you'd like to walk it in, back. And it's in poses like this and moments like this where I realize that my yoga practice is crucial to the enjoyment of the rest of my life. Oh my gosh. I had a guy I wrote up single with yesterday, and he said, I don't do yoga. Sell me on why I should do yoga. And I just looked at him and I was like, that totally depends on you. And then we find out he's a tennis player, like a nationally ranked tennis player. So why would he bind himself to deeper mobility? Downward dog. That was my question to him. And that's his answer. So why yoga? Why you? Why now? How does it support that which brings joy and evolution and expansion to your life? Inhale to your knees. Take a child's pose. And please come to your belly. Spider arms, lengthen, lift one leg at a time. Bowing into the heart, deepen the breath. Strengthen the tailbone muscles as you bend your knee. Knee. And this could be your variation of Dhanurasana, where you could push up by pushing down through the hands and the legs. If you want to hold your feet, that's also a good variation. Just lengthen the tailbone and you discover for you. My quads are so tight today, I'm staying here. Yeah. Beautiful. Help yourself down with breath. And relax forehead to backs of your hands. Shake out your hips. Big exhale. Place your hands, tuck your toes. Inhale up all fours. Cat cow. And then we'll have a seat. Baddha Konasana. This is maybe well known as my least favorite pose in the whole possibilities of postures. And it used to mean to me like that I was not a good yogi because my knees are still really far from the floor here. Can you let go of what you think the pose should look like and drop in with curiosity to how you can open through the pose itself, aligning with the pose and the way it's asking you to not blow energy through your lower back or pinch off the breath. And how by finding the flow of breath, you can sink into a pose that this one does not bring me delight, but it does bring me into a curious question of how my deep love of skiing is also a hindrance to my yoga practice. Yeah. And at one point, my teacher, John Friend, said, if you want your yoga practice to evolve, you may have to consider your other activities. And I just looked at him and I was like, huh, well, I love yoga, but not so much that I would ever even consider letting go of the other things in my life that bring me this much joy as well. Inhale, raise up, and unwind your left leg. Inner spiral the bent leg, leaning to the left. Press the upper thigh and sit bone back and wide, and then shoelace side of that leg down. Press through the straight leg heel and bow forward a little or a lot, right over that bent leg. And up to you if you go more towards the knee side of the bent leg or if you stay more down the middle. And then start to tick-tock and let the pose reveal a deeper sense of self. Inhale, rise on up. Take a moment in the pose, the most easy variation of the pose, and let it be breathed. Catch the bent knee, pull in the straight leg, lean to your right a little bit, inner spiral. And then straight leg can be inner spiral. And then drop into curious, positive association with how does this pose align the energy that wants to flow through me more fully? How does this pose align the energy that wants to flow through me more fully? Can I harness that? Can I bind myself to that? And then allow it. A little bit of sway and a little bit of movement. Less push, less strain, more inquiry and sacred connection. And then root the tail, sit up tall. Stretch out the bent leg. Inner spiral. This Upavishta Konasana means to sit nearby, Upavishta. And when you sit nearby someone or something, it's usually like when you're sitting close, it's by choice. You've chosen to hitch your cart to that cart. So just pause in this really sacred knowing. You are sitting nearby your highest self, connected to your breath, sitting nearby the deep teachings of the practice of yoga. And you might find yourself having greater capacity to bow into the reverence of the pose. Inhale your way up and out. Capture both knees, draw them in. Take a little twist, left or right, your choice. Side two. And back to center. And I'm going to offer up a hands-free variation of Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. So you get to use your imagination, you get to use the power of awareness to skillfully breathe in through the right side of the nose and out through the left, and then in through the left and out through the right with no hands. So you just get to drop in and go, I don't even know if this is really happening, but you might be able to feel. If you get curious enough, you can direct the flow of life more clearly because you intend to. And if one side feels less open, less available, meet it with curiosity instead of resistance or judgment. And see if you can nurture a sense of being more even. Find ujjayi through both sides of your nostril. Bow a little forward, just enough to get one hand to the earth and one hand to your heart. And bowing the mind to the heart to the body to the gift of being embodied. We cannot transcend or leave this body. I mean, unless you want to check out entirely. But what we can do is more skillfully decide how, when, where, why, particularly why we bind ourselves to any one thing, experience, endeavor, practice. In Anusara, we call this your Icha Shakti, the why, the desire, the power behind the knowledge you garner to create the actions you take. And so one way to really bring forth the 3 A's, attitude, alignment, and action, is this simple phrase: skillfully aligned intention made manifest. Please draw both hands to the heart. What do you hold sacred? So for me, it's not necessarily skiing itself, but the pure delight and the way it opens me to myself through the gift of being immersed in nature, the unpredictability of the experience, and my capacity to align myself with what's been offered. That's why I love skiing so much. And that could be anything. So, what is it for you? What passion lies deep within? Gather that with your breath. Maybe you need to journal and write about it a little more. When you offer your final Om, what really are you offering? More than the sound, more than the action itself. Deep breath in. Big breath out. Draw into the Icha Shakti with the breath. Ooh. Namaste. Thank you for joining. I love you so much. Be well. Any questions? Let me know.